Welcome to I'm Stuck on the Same Day for 1,000 Years, where our charming anti-hero, Chen, is trapped in the ultimate cosmic loop, reliving July 7, 2020, over and over. You might think he'd go mad, but no, he's having the time of his life, indulging in every vice without consequence. Action, he's mastered it, with endless time on his hands. Every fight becomes a practice round, making him unbeatable. Comedy, watching a guy realize he can do anything he wants every single day without facing the consequences. Hilarious, but beneath the laughs, there's drama and eki galore as Chen dives into his darker desires, surrounded by a stunning harem of beautiful female characters. This isn't just a fantasy, it's time manipulation at its finest. Chen, our ruthless and smart male lead, tweaks each day to his advantage, becoming the ultimate cheat code in his own game, and with multiple love interests and the occasional MILF thrown in, every day is a new chapter in his twisted, romantic saga. So, if you're ready for a wild ride where time loops, cheat skills, and harem hijinks rule the day, then buckle up. I'm Stuck on the Same Day for 1,000 Years is the manhwa that'll keep you hooked for 1,000 years too. If every day, your time reset, what a tantalizing thought, isn't it? Imagine being stuck on the same day, over and over again. For most people, this might sound like a nightmare, but for Chen, it's the ultimate playground. July 7, 2020, forever on repeat, like a song you just can't get out of your head. If you were stuck on the same day, what would you do? Well, Chen has had plenty of time to figure that out. In this twisted loop, he's done it all, indulging in every fantasy, mastering every skill, and leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. After all, why play by the rules when tomorrow never comes? What would you do? Would you be a saint, making the world a better place? Or would you dive headfirst into your darkest desires, knowing that nothing you do will ever stick? Chen chose the latter. Every sunrise brings him back to the same moment, the same day, but with 1,000 years of experience under his belt, he's not just surviving, he's thriving. At first, you'd feel like a lucky guy, right? Stuck in a time loop where nothing matters. Jackpot, spend money like it's water, indulge in every fantasy. Who wouldn't? Chen lived like a king, surrounded by luxury and beautiful women every single day. But here's the kicker: as soon you'd realize life isn't interesting at all. Every thrill fades, every pleasure dulls. Even paradise becomes a prison when you're trapped in it for 1,000 years. Poor Chen, living the dream, yet dying of boredom. So, when paradise gets boring, what's a guy like Chen to do? You start seeking fun in crime, gambling, and things like that. I mean, why not, right? There are no consequences when tomorrow doesn't exist. But here's the kicker: it's annoying that everything you've done is getting reset. You can rob a bank, win a fortune, or cause a little mayhem, but by sunrise, it's like it never happened. Fun? Sure, frustrating, you bet. He's tried everything to escape this maddening monotony, even taking his own life. But alas, death is one party he's not invited to. Want to know if Chen finally cracks the code to death or if he just gives up and becomes the world's most jaded bartender? Stay tuned, lovers of the absurd. Yeah, so today is the day that I've lived in for 1,000 years. Chen's immortal, infinite wine. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy's been Groundhog Day ing it for a millennium. Can you imagine the existential dread, the sheer boredom? We're talking levels of ennui that could freeze over the sun. Want to know how this eternal party animal handles his eternal hangover? Stick around, and we'll spill the beans on this immortal mess. Wow, but did you need to invent such a crazy history just to chase a girl? A Tanparave calm. This tactic is old already. Oh, looks like someone's got a case of the Mondays, or maybe it's more like a case of the millennia. Our boy Chen, the eternal bachelor, seems to have stumbled upon a particularly sassy critic. Looks like even in the afterlife, there's competition for the lady's daughter. Maybe this is just another loop, and he's been rejected by this particular ghost before? Forget about collecting infinity stones. Our boy Chen's got a much more interesting power: infinite hookups. Stuck in a time loop, he's turned every day into a new dating adventure. It's like Tinder, but with way less swiping and a whole lot more commitment issues. BFF, why won't you leave me? Chen's inner monologue. Probably after 1,000 years of the same day, even the most patient person would start questioning their life choices. Or maybe he's just really bad at taking hints. Either way, this is the kind of existential crisis we can all relate to, right? How do you know she won't come? Her ex-boyfriend suddenly came back to her, so she's gotta stay with him. Ah, the classic ex-boyfriend excuse. Is there anything more infuriating? Poor Chen. 1,000 years of the same day, and now he's got to deal with this love triangle drama. Talk about a plot twist. We're rooting for you, Chen. Maybe it's time to dust off that time-traveling charm and show this ex who's boss. Or, just find a new girl. There's literally an infinite supply. Stop lying. In 9 minutes and 13 seconds, she'll call you. Chen, the master of time manipulation, is about to get a reality check. A countdown timer, a promise, a threat, who knows? But one thing's for sure, this is about to get interesting. Is this a glitch in the Matrix, a message from the future, or just a really elaborate prank? Either way, Wu Chen's about to find out if he's truly in control of his time loop or if someone else is pulling the strings. Yeah, I hope so. Wu Chen's inner monologue is probably a mix of desperation and defiance, but let's be real, this isn't just any girl, this is a lifeline in a time loop that if she doesn't show, it's not just a broken date, it's a reset button on his entire existence, and that ominous threat, classic power play, is it a bluff, a warning, or a glimpse into a darker side of this time loop we haven't seen yet? Either way, the stakes just got a whole lot higher. This is where the fun begins. Wu Chen, our immortal Casanova, just got a front row seat to a real-life drama, a smoky bar, a gorgeous dame and a creep with a hey, beauty line smoother than sandpaper. If this were a normal day, Wu Chen would probably just mind his own business and let the drama unfold, but this isn't just any day, it's day number who knows how many in the eternal loop. So, will he be the knight in shining armor, the silent observer, or the guy who orders another round of drinks? Looks like Wu Chen's night of infinite possibilities just took a turn for the interesting. The woman, a sleazy dude, and our immortal protagonist caught in the crossfire. Is this a random encounter, or is it part of the grand scheme of this never-ending July 7th? One thing's for sure, Wu Chen's about to add professional peacemaker to his ever-growing resume, or maybe he'll just order another drink and let the drama unfold. After all, he's got all the time in the world, literally. Wait a second, you come here, oh, looks like Wu Chen's about to get a piece of his own medicine after 1,000 years of playing the field. It seems karma's finally catching up with him. Is this the start of a new love interest, a rival time traveler, or just a random stranger with a bone to pick? Either way, Wu Chen's eternal bachelor party just got a whole lot more interesting. Get ready for some fireworks, folks. What the hell are you saying? Sleazy dude is throwing cigarette, but to Wu Chen looks like our immortal hero is about to get a taste of his own medicine, or maybe this is just the universe's way of telling Wu Chen to mind his own business. Either way, this is about to get messy. Very messy. Why didn't he dodge? He previewed my prediction. Well, looks like we've got a bit of a mind game going on here. Is this sleazy dude some sort of psychic, or is Wu Chen just that good at predicting the unpredictable? Either way, this is about to get interesting. Our boy Wu Chen, dodging bullets and broken hearts. Talk about a multi-talented immortal, but seriously, this is getting ridiculous. Is this guy Neo from the Matrix, or just really good at predicting the future? Maybe it's time for Wu Chen to upgrade his skills from charming ladies to dodging debris. Who needs a love life when you can master the art of bullet dodging? What the hell? Looks like Wu Chen's about to become a human bowling ball and the target, a very surprised-looking sleazy dude. This is not how we expected this night to turn out. We're calling it now. This is the start of a beautiful friendship between Wu Chen and Gravity. What the FCK? The sleazy dude's friends stare in disbelief as their buddy becomes an unexpected human bowling ball. Their jaws drop as they watch the chaos unfold. Dude, you okay? Or did you just discover your inner superhero? Clearly, this is a turn of events no one saw coming, not even Wu Chen, probably. How dare you touch my man? Alright. So Wu Chen's night just got a whole lot more interesting. Looks like our immortal Casanova has attracted the attention of some unsavory characters, a woman in a revealing outfit, a burly bodyguard, and some ominous threats. This is starting to feel more like a James Bond movie than a never-ending Friday night. You grew up, huh? Is this how Zhao taught his younger brother? Looks like Wu Chen's past is coming back to haunt him. A mysterious figure, a hint of a dark past, and a question that hangs in the air like a ticking time bomb. Is this the beginning of a thrilling revenge plot, or just another roadblock in Wu Chen's endless loop? Either way, we're on the edge of our seats. Wu Chen, our dangerously charming protagonist, lounges in his flashy PJs, casually handling business over the phone. He informs Zhao that his brother's been into some bad stuff and, with his usual sarcastic flair, reveals he even knows about the secret. Meeting Wu Chen's warning is clear: keep your people in check, or next time, it won't just be a phone call. The next time will be far more personal, a promise you really don't want Wu to keep. Wu Chen's power isn't just in his words, it's in the terror he strikes into the hearts of those who dare cross him. A single, deadly gesture from our protagonist has this guy trembling, begging for mercy. His slick, calm demeanor is all it takes to make grown men cower. Wu Chen's message is crystal clear: disobedience is not an option. Wu Chen, the master of intimidation, watches as the terrified men grovel at his feet, stuttering out apologies for their misdeeds. His laid-back posture, holding the phone with a smirk, only adds to the tension. I'm in a good mood today, so I won't bother y'all, he says, his voice dripping with sarcastic sweetness. But everyone knows it's not Wu Chen's good side they should be grateful for, it's the fact that they're still breathing for now. Who is this person? Her mind races, a mix of intrigue and danger swirling around her. With a sly smirk, she slyly scrolls through her phone, her fingers dancing over the screen. Is he an ally or a foe? Wu Chen's world just got a whole lot more complicated and tantalizingly dangerous. As the clock ticks down, the mysterious woman receives a call. Her friend's voice is filled with regret. Sorry, I can't meet at the bar, my boyfriend's back. The woman's plans start to crumble, but she quickly masks her frustration with a forced smile. Dinner tomorrow. Then, she suggests, though inside she's seething that's impossible, she whispers, scanning the bar. Wu Chen watches from the shadows, amused. The night just took an unexpected turn, and he's ready to see how the game unfolds. The mysterious woman can't shake her disbelief. I still don't believe it, she mutters, her mind racing with doubt as she strolls through the parking lot. Her eyes land on a sleek, expensive car. Is this your car? She asks, half expecting Wu Chen to smirk and say yes, but instead, he casually replies, nope. She's left intrigued, realizing that this man is full of surprises. Wu Chen's mystery deepens, and she's drawn even further into his enigmatic world. The game is just getting started. Wu Chen, the rebel charmer, steals a car, smirking, it'll be back tomorrow, sweetheart. The woman, heavy makeup and all, traps him with a plea. You won't leave a drunk hottie alone, she purrs. Wu Chen, the unfazed artist, retorts, sorry, makeup doesn't impress me. Is she a damsel or a player? Intrigue sparks as he considers her game. What did you say? Her voice, a screech of fury, echoes. Wu Chen, cool as ice, raises an eyebrow. She's bluffing. This tiny tempest. He's Wu Chen, the storm calmer. Doubt flickers in her eyes. Is she breaking or just acting? He leans in, amusement glinting. Let the games begin. Wu Chen watched, a bored smirk playing on his lips, as she peeled off her carefully crafted mask. Beneath the layers of deception, a face emerged, raw and undeniably tempting. A transformation, yes, but was it genuine? The text, a bold declaration of intent, dared him to play. She traded the allure of a painted doll for the brash confidence of a predator. Intrigued, he tilted his head, a silent invitation to dance. After all, a game with such high stakes was far too tempting to resist. The woman's threat is a classic example of a defensive maneuver, a desperate gambit. Darling, threats are as enticing as stale perfume. Why not offer something more stimulating, perhaps a proposition? After all, the law is merely a suggestion for those with imagination. Wu Chen, the phantom driver, slips into the night like a shadow. He's abandoned his human cargo, a mere pawn in his thrilling game of cat and mouse with the city. With a smirk that could melt ice, he disappears into the neon abyss, leaving behind a trail of broken traffic laws and shattered expectation. Tonight, he's the architect of chaos, and the city is his playground. Awakening to the tantalizing melody of morning birdsong, Wu Chen stretches, his eyes fluttering open like a lotus unfurling its petals. A mischievous glint dances in his gaze as he contemplates the day's possibilities. The world outside his window beckons, a canvas of vibrant hues just waiting to be explored. With a playful smirk, he whispers, another day, another adventure. Let's paint this city with our desires, shall we? Once again, I woke up on the same day, Wu Chen moans, his voice like velvet sandpaper. The morning sun peeks through the blinds, casting a golden glow on his chiseled features. He stretches, a panther awakening from slumber, and his eyes snap open, revealing a smoldering intensity. That beauty is gone now. A pang of longing flashes across his face, a fleeting shadow in the sunlight, but then, a mischievous glint returns. He sits up, his muscles rippling beneath the sheets, and a smirk spreads across his lips. But fear not, my darling city, he purrs, I'm back for another round of seduction. Wu Chen thought his wild ride through a repeating day was finally over. The mysterious woman, who he thought had vanished, is now standing in front of him, looking all too real and very upset. Didn't you say the day kept repeating? She demands, a seductive smirk hidden beneath her frustration. Wu Chen, caught off guard, can't help but notice how her minimal attire makes this interrogation oddly distracting. Now explain, why is today July 8th? She purrs, her eyes locked onto his. Holding up her phone like it's Exhibit A in the case of the century, and just like that, Wu Chen's day gets a lot more complicated and a whole lot steamier. After 1,000 years of reliving the same cursed day, July 7th, Wu Chen finally did the impossible. He broke free, so he thought, but as he stares at the clock flashing 7:01 a.m., July 8th, disbelief washes over him. What? He exclaims, heart pounding. The woman, still radiating that irresistible mix of seduction and sarcasm, shoots him a knowing look. July 8th, she teases, her voice a playful taunt. Wu Chen can't help but wonder, is this freedom, or is the universe playing another cruel joke? Either way, the 1,000-year nightmare may not be over just yet. Wu Chen, after escaping a 1,000-year time loop, thought he'd finally caught a break, but no, instead of peace, he gets an angry goddess storming into the bathroom demanding answers. Wu Chen, what kind of man hides in the toilet? She slams the door, making sure to drag his attention back from his thoughts. He thought the loops were his worst nightmare, but now he's stuck explaining himself to her, and trust me, no amount of time manipulation could prepare him for this showdown. After 1,000 years of being stuck in the same damned day, Wu Chen steps into the shower expecting the same old loop, but this time, The water feels different. As the steam rises, he realizes, this ain't a dream, time started flowing. Guess what? July 8th finally arrived, and now, all bets are off. Time's moving forward, and so is seen straight into the unknown. Wu Chen's world is about to get steamy in more ways than one. Wu Chen finally bursts free from the cosmic joke that trapped him for a millennium. I'm finally free from this time and space prank, he shouts, laughing like a madman who's just been released from his padded cell. Half naked and shameless, he stands victorious as if the world owes him something. World, I'm here, wait for me. Brace yourselves, Wu Chen's about to take on the universe with nothing but his bare skin and newfound freedom. Wu Chen, fresh out of his 1,000-year time loop, thought he'd finally get some peace, but nope, just when he thought he could enjoy the present, bam, the universe throws him another curveball. The host has passed the Millennium test, and the time reincarnation system has been started. An ethereal voice announces, seriously, he just escaped eternity, and now there's a system, dripping wet, half naked, and confused. Wu Chen's mind races. Is this a system? I've awakened a system? It's like some twisted cosmic joke, right? First, trapped for 1,000 years, and now, he's been upgraded like some MMORPG character, and Wu Chen isn't just fighting time anymore, he's leveling up. Wu Chen finally thought his troubles were over after escaping that never-ending time loop, but oh no, the universe had bigger plans, and now, he's not just a regular guy with a beefed-up brain, he's packing some serious stats, strength 7, speed 9. But mental strength, a whopping 10, 158. Talk about overkill, and to make things spicier, he's got a new toy, time and space reset. Yeah, you heard it. He can now reset time at will, with a catch, of course. Every time he plays God and rewinds the clock, it drains a bit of his precious time quota. First time's cheap, but by the 20th reset, he's looking at 524,288 points. Better not get trigger happy with that rewind button, Wu Chen, or you'll be bleeding points like a broken slot machine. And don't even think about abusing it unless you're ready to reset your life into oblivion. Wu Chen was just your run-of-the-mill student, struggling through life with no special talents until that cursed time loop decided to mess with his life for a solid 1,000 years. After being trapped in time for that long, you'd think he'd go mad, but nope. Wu Chen spent every loop leveling up, cooking LV9, driving LV9, fighting LV9, marksmanship LV9, you name it, he mastered it. Now, he's out of the loop. Literally. Time's back to normal, and he's packing 1,354 near-max level abilities. All those loops of being a chef, a sharpshooter, and a martial artist are finally going to pay off with the universe at his feet. Wu Chen's ready to flex every skill he's picked up along the way. Stay tuned, this isn't just survival of the fittest, it's Wu Chen's world now, and he's about to dominate it with style. Wu Chen, fresh out of a 1,000-year time loop, stands half-naked and grinning like a madman. Of course, that's not helping his case when a baffled girl peeks in, wondering if this guy's completely lost it. After all, it's not every day you hear someone maniacally laughing at their newfound freedom like they've just won the cosmic lottery. Is this guy crazy? She thinks, eyeing him cautiously. Well, after a millennium of being stuck in a time prison, maybe he's earned a little craziness, but hey. Wu Chen's not phased. Time's back to normal, and he's ready to conquer the world one shower at a time. So, are you alright? Oh, honey, Wu Chen's more than alright. He's about to redefine the meaning of normal. Wu Chen, basking in post-time loop bliss, declares, this is the best day I've had in 1,000 years, and you'd think that would be a reason to celebrate, but of course, there's always that one person who's unimpressed with your cosmic breakthrough. She glares at him, half-draped in a towel, asking if he'll insist on that shit, as if his millennium of suffering is just another Tuesday. Before Wu Chen can deliver his sarcastic comeback, banging on the door interrupts their little moment. Apparently, stealing the boss's car is a bigger offense than resetting time itself. But who's keeping track, right? Wu Chen, enjoying a quiet post-loop towel session, is suddenly reminded that normal days just don't exist for him anymore. As goons bang on the door, threatening to break it down over a stolen car, his companion scolds him, it's your fault for stealing someone else's car. But Wu Chen, grinning like a man who's reset the clock a few too many times, shrugs it off. I didn't know it was going to be a normal day. Normal, that's a luxury for people who haven't lived through 1,000 years of time resets. For Wu Chen, normal is dodging gangsters in a towel and wondering why time loops couldn't come with a do not disturb option. Coincidence? Hardly. Wu Chen, in his reckless charm, just swiped Wang's car, a man notorious in the underworld now. Isn't that just brilliant? But don't worry, Wang's got a soft spot for people who cross him, like when his parents were brutally attacked by social workers on someone else's payroll. Wang, he simply hacked them to pieces and got a 3-year vacation in prison for it. Now, Wu Chen's got the attention of a man who knows how to overcome, well, just about anyone. Wu Chen thought swiping Wang's car was just a fun little joyride. Cute, right? But Wang, the guy who carved out his own slice of hell after hacking up his parents' attackers, is far from your average criminal. After his stint in prison, Wang didn't just survive, he thrived. He built an empire in East China, powered by brains and brutality, and now, Wu Chen has his full attention. Messing with such a powerful man? Oh, Wu Chen, you're in so much trouble. So, Wu Chen thought stealing Wang's car was his biggest mess up. Oh, sweet summer child, that was just the appetizer, and now, he's gone and borrowed Li Gongzi's name, a man with a reputation that sends shivers down spines. Yesterday, no less did I in the underworld. That's not just a problem, it's a death wish of the stakes. Let's just say, if Wu Chen doesn't handle this with some finesse, bodies are going to start piling up. So, darling, the million-dollar question is, what's Wu Chen's next move? Wu Chen, ever the perfectionist, decides he's had enough of the current timeline's imperfections. With a sly grin, he mutters, simple, while his companion watches in bewilderment, barely breaking a sweat. Wu declares, I'll just start it over. As he prepares to hit the ultimate reset button, you can almost hear the universe itself holding its breath. Wu Chen's not just about second chances, he's about making sure every move, every twist, is exactly how he wants it. Time to start again. Wu Chen isn't just playing with fire, he's rewriting the entire game. As the system coolly announces, the host is resetting for the first time on July 8, 2020, the timeline shatters, reflecting a twisted mosaic of Wu's past moves, consuming a precious time point. The reset begins, and in mere moments, the pieces fall perfectly into place. Reset successful. With a smug grin, Wu's left with 364,999 points to burn and a world that's about to feel his touch all over again. Ready or not, here he comes, again. Wu Chen, half awake and barely covered by a sheet, watches as the woman across the room demands answers with a sultry yet furious tone. Explain it, she snaps, holding her phone like it's about to expose his deepest secrets. The screen displays the impossible, 7:01. His heart skips a beat. Time really reset. He mutters, almost too calm for the storm brewing in the room. Her gaze is intense, expecting him to unravel the mystery, but Wu Chen, he's too busy wondering if he can rewind time again, this time, without the fiery interrogation. Wu Chen's morning just got a lot more interesting. She leans in, voice dripping with a blend of curiosity and frustration. Explain it now. But Wu Chen, ever the tease, smirks and brushes her off with a cool, there's no time to explain. So get dressed. Her eyes flare, but she's too close to back down now. Their breath mingling as tension electrifies the air, and just when she thinks she's in control, his sudden move leaves her gasping. A bite, a tease, just enough to leave her craving more. Wu Chen's morning is spiraling into a seductive mess of trouble. She crosses her arms, sulking with a pout that could stop hearts. Hey, I knew you wouldn't be responsible, but I didn't think you'd be so eager to get rid of me. Wu Chen, though, isn't fazed. He drops the bomb with a casual shrug. The car I stole belongs to a big man named Wang Zhuangyuan, and his men are about to come to my door. She stares, trying to process, while Wu Chen adds with a smirk, of course, you're not afraid, but I can't afford to mess with him as a commoner now. It's a race against time and desires. Can Wu Chen keep his cool, or is the heat about to catch up to them both? Wu Chen's world just got flipped upside down. She narrows her eyes, a spark of danger lighting up within them. Do you know who I am? She challenges, her voice laced with the kind of confidence that makes men tremble. Wu Chen, ever so curious, watches as she leans in closer, adding with a wicked grin, if you do, then you know you have to beg me to help you. Her hand rests on her hip, a teasing smirk playing on her lips. It's clear she's ready to play, but Wu Chen, he's already wondering just how far he'll need to go to win this dangerous game. Wu Chen pulls her close, his voice dripping with sarcasm and a dangerous edge. Just like you begged me last night, he teases, his lips curling into a smirk. Her eyes widen, momentarily caught off guard by his audacity, but she quickly recovers, shoving him away with a mix of frustration and embarrassment. Bastard, I'll let you die, she snaps, her words laced with both anger and something far more tempting. But Wu Chen, he knows he's just raised the stakes in their twisted game of passion and power, and he's more than ready to play. Wu Chen, ever the suave strategist, isn't fazed by a little snag. Sorry to disappoint you, he teases, but I know someone who can fix this easily. The question of what kind of person lingers in the air. Wu's response? A woman. One with a lot of heart. But this isn't just any woman, she's a mystery, a force to be reckoned with, and Wu's secret weapon. With a smirk, Wu knows the game's about to change, and he's holding all the aces. Ready for round two? Because Wu sure is. In the heat of a high-octane chase, the tension escalates as the goons are hell-bent on catching Wu Chen. Their orders are clear: catch up, drive faster. The boss's car is ahead, but what can one expect from thugs in rusty tin cans chasing after a sleek red beast? Goon's foot slams the pedal. Stop the car, or I'll kill you, screams the henchman, But we all know Wu Chen's not the kind to take orders from small F or Y.AS bullets fly and tires screech, Wu Chen's partner comments. They have guns, to which he responds with a seductive smirk. That's the fun part, his enemy's frustration is palpable. You're crazy for driving this fast, but let's be honest, Wu Chen's craziness is what keeps him alive. There's no turning back. I can't do anything else. If I get caught, I'm dead, but who's really in danger here, the ones who dare cross paths with Wu Chen or the devil himself behind the wheel? The tables have turned, and Wu Chen isn't playing nice anymore as he dials the number, and the mysterious woman picks up almost instantly, her voice smooth and taunting. "Hello," she says, her tone dripping with intrigue, but Wu Chen doesn't waste any time on pleasantries. He hits her with a truth bomb. "Mr. Li reminds you that you have a traitor on your side who will make you lose the bet." The calmness in her voice falters, suspicion creeping in as she demands, "Who are you, and how do you know about the bet?" Wu Chen, ever the man of mystery, coolly responds, "I have my sources, and I can tell you more about your brother." He lets that sink in before delivering his next order with a chilling calm. "Send someone to meet me downstairs at your office in half an hour, and we'll talk in person." The tension is thick, and she tries to pry more out of him, her voice now laced with curiosity and unease. "I want to know who you are." But Wu Chen has already made his move, leaving her in the dark, wondering just who she's up against. Wu Chen's driving skills are as sharp as his wit. The tension is high as the woman next to him, clearly not used to being in the line of fire, panics. "We're pinned." But Wu Chen, unbothered, glances at her with a smirk. "They can't pinch us." He pushes the pedal to the floor, the speedometer needle climbing dangerously high. "Watch this insane drift," he says with a devilish grin, as he effortlessly swings the car into a sharp turn, tires screeching, leaving his pursuers in a cloud of smoke and confusion. As Wu Chen pulls off a jaw-dropping drift that leaves his pursuers spinning in his dust, the goons chasing him are left slack-jawed, unable to believe what they just witnessed. One of them blurts out in sheer disbelief, "What are these skills?" Their shock is palpable, but for Wu Chen, it's just another day behind the wheel. He's not just out driving them, he's playing with them, showing them exactly who they're up against, and by the looks on their faces, they finally realize they've bitten off more than they can chew. Wu Chen's car skids sharply, tires screaming against the asphalt as he effortlessly takes a corner at breakneck speed. The goons chasing him are left in the dust, their frustrated cries lost to the wind as they spiral out of control. One panicked goon's voice echoes, "We're losing them," while the mysterious woman beside him, unable to keep her composure any longer, lets out a desperate cry, "Help!" Her voice is a mix of fear and helplessness, a stark contrast to Wu Chen's calm demeanor, but Wu Chen, ever the unflappable driver, doesn't even flinch. He simply smirks and, with a coolness that borders on arrogance, reassures her, "We got to your home." The car glides to a stop in front of her house, the sudden stillness almost surreal after the intense chase, but as she struggles to catch her breath, one thing becomes crystal clear: with Wu Chen, there's no room for fear, only survival. As the car finally rolls to a stop in front of the mysterious woman's home, the tension lingers like the scent of burning rubber. "How do you know where I live?" she asks, her voice dripping with suspicion, but Wu Chen only smirks, his eyes glinting with secrets untold. She sighs, resigned. "I'm not even going to ask. You're going to say you've lived for 1,000 years. But even in her exasperation, there's a hint of admiration. "But you do have good driving skills. Where did you learn them?" Wu Chen's response is as enigmatic as the man himself. "I practiced it through life, died lots of times to learn this skill." The words hang heavy between them, their meaning as elusive as his true identity, but then he adds, with a deadly seriousness that sends a shiver down her spine, "Don't learn from me. I had lots of chances, but you only have one." And in that moment, she realizes, the man she's dealing with is no ordinary player in this dangerous game. "Stop lying, you have my number," she says, her voice dripping with annoyance. "But don't go out thinking I'll call you." She's playing hard to get, but Wu Chen? He's already gone. With a screech of tires and cloud of dust, his car tears down the road, leaving her standing there furious, yet undeniably intrigued. "This bastard," she mutters, realizing she's been played, and yet, she can't help but be impressed by his audacity. Yet he knew exactly where to find her, and more importantly, how to leave her wanting more. "This guy, he got my address so easily. It must have been through a phone call or some other sneaky trick." But don't think she's just going to let it slide. She clenches her fist, a mix of frustration and grudging admiration bubbling up inside her. With a determined smirk, she vows, "I'm gonna ask her. You won't escape me." Half an hour later, the cityscape gleams under the afternoon sun, but what lies beneath the surface is far more intriguing. Welcome to the empire of Lai Rubing, the so-called star entrepreneur of Donghai City. On the outside, she's the picture-perfect businesswoman, but dig a little deeper, and you'll find a web of secrets that could bring the entire East China to its knees. Her brother, oh, he's not just any man, he's the one who could single-handedly destroy everything in his path. But let's not forget, Wu Chen has had his fair share of deep relationships, and Lai Rubing is no exception. Their connection, let's just say it's as complicated as it is dangerous. This isn't just a game of business and power, it's a twisted dance of seduction, secrets, and domination, and Wu Chen, he's right in the middle of it all, playing his cards with the finesse of a man who knows exactly what he's doing, or does he? The sign on the door reads, President's Office. Inside, the tension is palpable as a voice announces, he's here. Wu Chen has arrived, and with him, the stakes have just skyrocketed. The power play continues, and someone's about to make their next bold move. Go down first, she whispers, her lips curving into a smile that hides more than it reveals. Wu Chen is no stranger to the game, but in this office, every move he makes will be scrutinized, every word dissected. It's not just a meeting, it's a battle of wits, seduction, and unspoken power, and as he stands there, the question lingers, who will emerge victorious in this seductive dance of control? Wu Chen strides into the office, cool and composed, but his mind is racing. Across from him, Lai Rubing, the powerful president of the organization, is all business, but her appearance suggests she's no stranger to mixing pleasure with power. Wu Chen, 22 years old, graduated from the computer science department of Dajiang University. Father Wu Daoming, mother Xiao Shoujuan both run a small restaurant, and a sister, Wu Jiao, still in high school. She rattles off, her voice laced with smug satisfaction. Wu Chen's smirk deepens. You're very good, finding so much info with just my phone number, he quips, his tone dripping with sarcasm. Lai Rubing leans forward, her blouse teasingly undone, revealing just enough to distract but not enough to satisfy. Who are you, she demands, her voice a seductive purr. Wu Chen smirks, leaning in close, his words dripping with confidence and danger. I ain't ordinary, he purrs, locking eyes with Lai Rubing, the mysterious, sexy and powerful woman who rules the underworld. I know a lot of things that keep you up at night, like who the traitor is that's been slithering around you. $10 million, and I'll hand you their head on a silver platter. Affair, isn't it? Lai Rubing, unfazed, narrows her eyes and bites back with a smirk of her own. So, you expect me to make a deal with some nobody who just walked in, without even knowing if you're feeding me the truth? The tension sizzles in the air, each playing their part in a dangerous game where the stakes are high, and neither is willing to lose. Lai Rubing, eyes blazing, levels her gun at Wu Chen, her voice cold and menacing. Do you think I'll agree? If you don't explain this to me, you won't get out alive. But Wu Chen, ever the smooth operator, doesn't flinch. He gazes at her with a sly smile, knowing exactly how to push her buttons. I know you'd really shoot, but, his hand moves with calculated precision, revealing the bullet he's swiped, the one thing standing between her fury and his demise. Without this, how will you? The tension crackles as Lai Rubing realizes she's been outplayed. Wu Chen holds all the cards, and he's not afraid to show it. Lai Rubing feels a chill down her spine as she realizes that her pistol, once securely hidden beneath the table, is suddenly lighter, missing its magazine. Her mind races, trying to piece together how Wu Chen, the seemingly harmless man standing before her, managed to pull off such a feat. She grips the weapon, her thoughts betraying a flicker of doubt. My pistol was under the table, how did he remove the magazine? She wonders, her confidence shaken, but deep down, she knows the answer. Wu Chen is no ordinary man. As the pieces fall into place, she can't help but marvel at his audacity. Could it be that when he did that, the thought trails off, leaving her both intrigued and unnerved by Wu Chen's mysterious, seductive prowess? Wu Chen's smug grin is more dangerous than the gun he's pointing. As I said, I'm an intelligent businessman, he taunts, casually twirling the magazine between his fingers. And how I removed your magazine is part of my intelligence. Lai Rubing's eyes narrow, her confidence shaken yet intrigued. His audacity is infuriating, but the way he effortlessly disarmed her, both literally and figuratively, sets him apart from any man she's dealt with before. Ms. Li, please trust my ability to gather information, Wu Chen continues, lowering the weapon but not the tension in the room. Also, I don't mean any harm, I'm here for money. But the unspoken truth hangs in the air. Wu Chen is here for far more than just money, he's here to dominate this game of wits, and Rubing might just be the prize. Wu Chen leans back with a smirk that screams, I've already won. He knows exactly what strings to pull, and Lai Rubing is the perfect puppet in this twisted game. It always takes a motive to get to her, he muses to himself. And it makes sense to do it for money. It's reasonable to mention money to lower her psychological defenses. But Wu Chen isn't just after money, he's digging into the wounds Rubing thought she'd buried deep. Tell me, what else do you know? She demands, trying to regain control, though the shake in her voice betrays her. You're the eldest daughter of the Li family, Wu Chen begins, twirling the gun as if it were a toy. But because you were treated differently as a girl, you wanted to fight to prove to everyone that women can be stronger than men, yet you could not escape the curse of being in your brother's shadow. His words cut deep, each one calculated to destabilize her further. Wu Chen's game isn't just about winning, it's about breaking his opponent piece by piece, until all that's left is someone who has no choice but to rely on him. Wu Chen knows how to cut deep, and Li Rubing's past is the perfect target. Your mother always had your back, he begins, his tone laced with false sympathy. But after she divorced your father, she spiraled, started dating around, making your life hell, even threatened to kill you if you didn't marry Ding Ruilong. Wu Chen's words are like a cold blade, slicing through Rubing's carefully constructed facade. You wanted to run, to escape that doomed marriage, but you couldn't, not with your mother hanging over your head like a noose. He leans in, his voice lowering to a dangerous whisper. You tried to fight back, using 3 fake boyfriends to get Ding Ruilong off your back, but look how that turned out. The first one, suicide; the second, a one-way trip to the mental hospital; the third, framed, imprisoned, and forgotten. Wu Chen smirks, knowing he's got her right where he wants her. Ding Ruilong is a careful man. He made sure no one would come near you again, spreading fear like wildfire, and now, no man dares to get close. Wu Chen isn't just digging up Rubing's past, he's turning it into a weapon, ready to use against her at any moment, and the best part? He's doing it all with that infuriating smile on his face. Wu Chen knows all the dirty details, and he's not afraid to lay them out. To escape that nightmare of a marriage, he says with a smirk, you and Ding Ruilong made a little secret bet, didn't you? He leans in, watching Li Rubing's reaction with predatory delight. Each of you opened a new business, of the one with the bigger empire after 5 years wins the bet. Sounds thrilling, doesn't it? But Wu Chen isn't done yet. Oh no, he's just getting started. But what you didn't know is that Ding Ruilong is playing dirtier than you could ever imagine. He turned someone from your side, a spy, planted to destroy everything you've built. He pauses, letting the implications sink in before delivering the final blow. On the day of the launch, that spy will ruin everything for you. Still think you've got the upper hand? Wu Chen's grin widens, his voice dripping with mockery. Do I need to keep on talking? He knows he's already shattered her illusions, and he's savoring every moment. Li Rubing sits in silence, her mind racing, her face an unreadable mask, but beneath that cool exterior, she knows she's been cornered. Wu Chen has her right where he wants her. With a sigh of reluctant resignation, she reaches for her checkbook. The pen glides smoothly across the paper, each stroke a surrender to Wu Chen's relentless game. Tell me, she says, her voice as sharp as the pen in her hand, who's this traitor? Wu Chen watches with a satisfied grin, knowing full well that he's already won. After all, when you're holding all the cards, the game's just too easy. Wu Chen leans in with a smile that says, I've got you exactly where I want you. He knows the dance isn't over, it's just beginning. Yes, I will, he agrees, sealing the deal with words that carry the weight of finality. But as he tightens his grip on the situation, the door opens, and in walks Feng Yan, the ever-loyal senior assistant. He holds a document, a symbol of yet another layer in this intricate web Wu Chen is weaving. Ms. Li, I need you to sign this document, Feng Yan requests, his voice steady, almost too calm for what's really unfolding. Wu Chen watches from the sidelines, knowing full well that every signature, every stroke of the pen, is just another nail in the coffin of Li Rubing's independence. Wu Chen doesn't even need to say much as he slams his prey against the desk. The shocked gasp says it all. It's him, Feng Yan realizes, his betrayal dripping with the weight of a guilty conscience. What are you talking about? Feng Yan sputters, his panic barely masking the truth beneath. But Wu Chen isn't here for games anymore. The $5 million in your Swiss bank account, just sitting there for what? A rainy day. His voice oozes with mockery, as though the lie Feng Yan clings to is nothing more than a pathetic joke. Cornered and sweating, Feng Yan stutters, what $5 million? You're mistaken. Wu Chen leans closer, his smile predatory. Oh, you're not going to spit it out, are you? Well, fine. With each word, the tension in the air thickens. He knows he's already won this twisted chess match. Wu Chen has all the pieces laid out, and now it's time to press play on this dark, twisted game. Ding Ruilong calls. Did you get the information? He sounds confident, too confident, but Wu Chen, he's already handling business, literally, with Feng Yan still trembling on the ground. Wu Chen taunts, do you want to keep arguing, or should we finish this? And Miss Li, oh, she's livid, $5 million, after everything you've made by my side, you sold me out for that." Her words cut like a blade, dripping with betrayal and disappointment. Feng Yan, pathetically scrambling for redemption, gasps, "I took the money, yes, but..." "Please, I need to explain, but really, who's buying it now?" Wu Chen plays the role of the truth teller, but oh, how deliciously twisted that truth is. "Your mother never wanted you chained to Dingruelong, just another lamb led to slaughter, but your grandfather, well, he made sure of it." Wu Chen's words cut deep, striking at the most tender part of her heart. "But this isn't just about family." Wu Chen, ever the puppet master, warns, "Dingruelong knows your mother is your Achilles heel. Don't fall for his trap." He hands over the gun, cold and calculating. "You decide what to do with him." Wu Chen smirks, leaving her with the sweet weight of revenge. Her decision, simple: go away, I don't want to see you again. Wu Chen's smirk could cut glass as the man grovels on the floor, gasping, "Thank you, miss, thank you." But Wu Chen isn't fooled. "I thought you were going to kill him." Her voice, drenched in sarcasm, bites through the tension. "I didn't want to get my hands dirty. He'll be swimming with the fishes tonight." A cruel smile dances on her lips, yet, despite the charade, she's far from convinced. "I still don't trust you." Wu Chen, her sharp gaze pierces through his mask. "You must be one of Ding Ruelong's pawns." But Wu Chen, ever the seducer, leans in with a devilish grin. "Let me prove you wrong. By being your fake boyfriend, he knows how to play the game, dangerously close to the flame."